Great Spirit, be with us today as we are here at this beautiful Patuxent River that we were so gratefully and graciously able to stay at. Pray for all those in sickness and all those who are fighting the injustice in this world, and may they be protected and may they be out of harm's way, and may a real change happen for the better for all people who are under distress and who don't have a fighting chance in this world, but we are fighting for you, and we are fighting for all those who are under attack in the world. And we pray that this change will finally happen and that everyone on Mother Earth, all creatures, are treated fairly and they have a rightful chance to be on Mother Earth and to be free and healthy.
Yes. So, what are we going to talk about this time?
So many things.
So many things, true. So, yeah. So, one thing, well, let's talk about spirit.
Yes.
Let's talk about protection. And, you know, one of the things that people keep asking me to teach. So, I am going to start doing classes, and I'm always like, well, what do you want to learn from me? You know, what kinds of things? And it frustrates poor Aisa because people are constantly calling me and asking me, you know, well, what should I do about this? What should I do about that? You know, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Do you know any prayers? Do you have a ritual? Do you have this? Do you have that? And she said, but they don't go to your website. They don't book a reading. They don't book a coaching session. They always want you to give for free, even though it takes something out of you to do this. And she said, you need to just say no. And okay. And everybody tells me that. And yes, and other people get paid big bucks, psychic readings, and, you know, that's the popular thing right now. But for some reason, there's this thing that people, they know I, you know, do this, and it's a gift, and it's a gift I've been giving freely for, you know, most of my life, and doing ceremony and doing all of these things. But I got to eat too. I got bills to pay too. And, you know, and so this is something that I had to self-examine with of why do I not feel or have not felt that my gifts are just as precious as other people's, that people are charging huge amounts of money for people to ask questions of and stuff. So, yeah, so that's going to change. And people can support me by donating to my YouTube channel. And if you want a reading or coaching session or whatever, then book one, please. And the information's on here. Certainly when I go and I do ceremonies on the full moon and the new moon, or, you know, whatever the case may be, the solstices, then, you know, I don't charge for those things, because when I'm in spirit and I'm doing spirit work, then I don't charge. But if you want me to tell you personal things or all those things, then I just ask you for reciprocity. So, yeah, so coming up is the summer solstice, and we will be doing ceremony here at the Patuxent River. And so I'm not sure exactly how. We'll do maybe a live Zoom for part of it, and then, or we may just film it and put it up. But probably maybe both. I'm not sure. We'll see what Spirit says. So what I want to talk about now is the promo for my classes. One of the things I think is key and important that I'd like to offer to people is protection, spiritual protection. Just meet people. Now that I'm staying here at the Patuxent River headquarters and by this magnificent river, and being able to be in communion with it, and being in communion with all of the different plants and animals and things, and honoring our Sacred Waters site, YouTube, then I'll do all these stories, which I love to tell stories, animals that you don't know. But some of the encounters that I've had with my fellow brethren, the beavers and the heron and all these different magnificent cousins that come and have conversations, and the plants that just, you know, come here, you need me now. kind of thing. And so it's just been an amazing, eye-opening experience that when you're in the same vibration, when you're in the same gratitude and the same love for the earth and for creation, how those things resonate with you. They're open to you. They want to join with you and have exchanges with you. And along with those things, we owe it to them as well as ourselves and our families when we're doing prayer, is to ask for the protection for them as well as ourselves and our family. And people go out and you go into these situations, and we're always in prayer, always putting prayer around all of the people that are out there, demonstrating, the people that are at home, people that are just walking down the street, all of creation, everybody, every single day, we're in prayer for. And I ask you to take the time. This is not asking anybody to step outside their religious faith or tradition. Just know that all of those things are ways that people can connect with spirit. That there is, if you're a Christian, there are Bible passages, or Jewish and you have Bible Torah passages. There are, Psalms. There are Muslim prayers. There are zikrs. There Native people have prayers. The Buddhists have chants. There are all these things that are gifted to us through spirit to help us to raise our vibration and our energy, to call out and seek protection, and to use our own force, our own life force and our own life field to also afford and extend that protection that we're pulling in, to outwardly gift that and to use that to protect our loved ones and to protect the planet. So an instance of that is so every night, in my mind, in my third eye, in my, spiritual consciousness, what I do is I stand in front of wherever I am, and I look at that place, and I put my hands up, and I extend my energy and my vibration and asking for protection for that space. And I seal that space into this bubble, into this whole area of protection around that space. I stand there and I face the door, and I put protection around that door, each window, porch, the lawn, stepping back, looking at it from there. I start and I bring that energetic field towards it. I seal the windows, I seal the doors, sides of the house, over the top of the house, the back of the house, each window on every level, over the top of the roof, over the chimney, through the back of the house. And then I energetically move myself into the house, and I come in the door and I turn and I face that door and I seal that door. And I go into each room and I seal the doors and the window. I bring light and flood light throughout each room of the house, up the stairway, in the closets, everywhere. I don't leave anything, any space that is untouched, and put that. And then I go and I put light around my child who's asleep or not, and put her in a bubble of light. I put myself in one. I go to my children's houses and I do the exact same thing at their houses and put each one of them in light, in a bubble. And around their cars, if they're traveling, or, around their animals, everybody and all of my friends, and I send and extend that light and that energetic of protection to everyone, and I put it around the planet. And I thank Mother for the grace of hearing my thoughts, hearing my energy, allowing this to take place, and I'm so assured that it is in place. And I've had other people call and ask me the same thing. There's somebody in jeopardy. Can you send light? Can you put light around that person? And they're doing the same thing. We build grids around whole villages and whole places that right now, people walking, people in the streets, people are under protection of so many light workers all over the planet who are intentionally putting light around, of protection around all those people. To say that nothing can ever happen, that, nobody will get hurt or whatever, but those things are in Creator's hands, not ours. But the good thing is that when folks are under duress and all that, they always have angels that are standing by them. Know that for sure. That there are other beings of light. There are your ancestors, your parents who loved you so much, that are around you, that are affording you protection to help you through whatever the circumstance may be. In divine order, those people, those energies, those spirits are there with you. Just call their names. So that is one way of putting protection around you. When you're doing, even just sitting here in front of a computer, pull up a screen of light. You put yourself in a bubble of light that encases you, that deflects any harmful energy that might come at you. You put that in there and you hold that space. When you get up in the morning, you activate your shield, That's part of getting dressed. That's part of getting ready for your day. You activate your shield, and as you leave the house, or even around the house, in the house, things happen to people we know in their houses, that we put light around ourselves first thing. That's before you put on all your underwear and everything else. You put your shields up. You put your shields around your children and your family members. In those that are getting into a car, wherever they're going, you put those shields around yourself and your people so that you're walking with that spiritual armor on all the time. And it goes with you wherever you go. It goes out in front of you, to the sides of you, behind you, over top of you, below you. That this bubble, this force of energy of protection is walking with you. You say prayers. You do an offering. You say prayers to, however you believe, and you ask for that protection, for that guidance, and know that when you speak it and you ask it, it's activated. So be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you put out in your mind first, because that initiates that spark for something to happen. And it just gets more aggressive and more when it's negative, when it is spoken. When you speak, it goes out and it's carried up into the universe, and it falls somewhere. So being mindful of that, you be careful of what you say. Examine your thoughts before you speak them. Stop them right there. To offer prayers. Now, when I sit by the water, the first thing I do when I come out is I thank Creator for every mother. Thank you for every breath in and every breath out. For being able to see, to be able to hear, to be able to speak, to be able to swallow, to be able to move my limbs, to be able to walk, to talk, to, all of those things, for every part of my body, for my liver, my spleen, my heart, I name everything. And I give thanks for all of these things. And then I greet Grandfather Sun when he comes up, and I thank him for his warmth and the vitamins that he gives me, and the ability to bring more light into my own being. And I give thanks to the river, and I thank it, and I bless it, and I praise it, and I honor it, and look at it for all of its beauty and all that lives within it. And when you do that and you become in sync with these things, that is part of your protection. It makes you of one vibration, where you're not standing out here, there, or anywhere, but you are just not invisible, but your vibration is so harmonious and in sync with everything else, it's divine perfection. Then you are protected, because there's nothing out of the ordinary or anything that stands out about you that draws in fire, but it certainly draws in light. So people talk to me. I've had somebody, several people tell me that they are being attacked by spirits. Sometimes they're spirits that are tramp spirits, or spirits that are still here, that are earthbound, and that are very negative, and that have no good intention and try to harm people. You put that protection around you because you have help in the spirit world of beings that are much more powerful than they are, and you ask for that assistance for them to come and to help you root those things out. But you put your shields up and you don't go into fear. you go into your space of your own sovereignty of being, that I am in control of myself, my environment, and you do not have the right to interfere with me in any kind of way. Once you give in to fear that this thing can overpower you, overtake you, then you give it more power. But instead, you call in your reinforcements, you call in your troops, and you say, out of here. You don't belong here. And you say it as strongly as possible and get those things moving. And if you need help, go to somebody that's spiritually stronger and ask them for help and go to your prayer community and say, okay, I got problems. We're going to take this and we're going to root this thing out and get it out of here. But you always have help, and know that when you speak it, it is so. So the main thing is that in protection prayers, there's one, it was funny because there's one I taught my children that they all, and my grandchildren, that they say, even when they were little, before you go to school, make sure, did you say your prayer? Did you say your prayer before you went to sleep? I close myself, safely protected, surrounded by the pure white light of the beloved, that nothing negative nor evil can penetrate, and only good shall come near me. The golden light surrounds me, the power protects me, the love enfolds me. Wherever I am, the beloved Creator is, and I am so truly blessed and grateful. I was watching one of those Ghostbusters shows a few years ago, and even those kids went in. They didn't say the whole prayer, but they said at least enough that they were asking for that protection when they went into a space. Why, I don't know, but, we do know for ratings and just out of curiosity, but, some of these places, no. But they at least had enough sense to put some protection around themselves when they went into these spaces. So take that prayer, take what I've taught you so far. If you want to join the classes, we'll go more into depth with those things. And I'm going to share with you one of the things that I wrote. It was for that I wrote for a conference or a retreat that I was going to. And it's called I Dream of Worlds. I dream of otherworldly beings whose lives were part of mine, as they came in such wondrous ways to share and spend some time. They sing of life beyond my worldly view. As I sing along, I begin to see them too. I move my body like a reed in the wind, picking up vibrations through my skin. My eye is open to wondrous sights. I begin to know what freedom is like. My spirit soars through hues of light, so many colors never before seen nor imagined could be so bright. The stars pulse to a rhythm they feel, birthing new life into the cosmic fields. Their dust sparkles in rivers of light, flowing through the darkness, shining so bright. Awaken my senses so I may know where I am and where I should go. Keep me safe as I journey through time, my heart as guide and not my mind. No thing is unreachable, for I can create my life through dreams. I craft my fate. I wrote this in 2019 for as I said, for a retreat. I didn't share it there, but Spirit said share it here. So I have. And hopefully this is something that you can find useful. I give into Spirit and Spirit's guidance every day. Aisha and I go for walks. Spirit sent me on so many journeys, and she's like, this energy, just go walk. I got something to show you. I'm not an herbalist. You should find a good one and take a course, because we need medicine. We need to know our medicines. There's so much medicine here. But because I don't know, Mother's so gracious to her daughters, and she said, okay, just go for a walk. I needed mullein. She showed me one plant after the other. Every day I was like, go walk. And sent me more and more and more, because it was for respiratory, and I was having respiratory problems. Not COVID, but having bronchitis very badly after coming back from Standing Rock. I was sick, very sick for almost 2 months. And
Yeah.
this one, and my husband sat on
Yeah.
in chairs like I'd purchased, like, oh, you ready to go to the hospital yet? And I'm like, no, got this. Mama got me. I don't need to, you know. So, you know, I would go and I'd take these walks, and every day something new would be gifted to me. It would be a plant. Look at this, daughter. Now go look this up. What is this? So I would go look it up, and it would be something else that, you know, I needed. And this is how you harvest it. This is how you put it away. This is what you need it for. Start filling your medicine bags with, in your medicine chest, with what the earth is gifting us. Everything that we need right now is being gifted. All those weeds you're pulling, you better check them out, because some of those things could save your life. Some of those things are so important in vitamins and minerals and helping with kidneys and all different things. Stop looking down on, like we do people, stop looking down on the plants, because some of those plants are there to help you out. And the fact that you noticed it means that you should look into it, because it's trying to get your attention and trying to help you. Gift it some water and say thank you and use it. And so, you know, I'm like, Aisa, let's go for a walk today. Come on, Mother said, take her out, take her out. So we went and we walked. And I want to show you, on one of my walks, I was gifted feathers. There was one year that I couldn't go anywhere without feathers coming for me. I'm sitting in a car, people were amazed. Feathers would just drop right out of the sky into, you know, right there wherever I was sitting in the car. We'd get to somebody's house, people walk in, I walk up, and there's a feather and they turn around and look and say, that wasn't there before. And I'm like, I know. And, you know, just feathers just came, all sorts of feathers from all over the place for a whole year of all different birds and all. And so what Mother gifted me one day, I was out walking and gathering some medicine where she sent me, and this feather came up, which is a buzzard. I guess it's a turkey buzzard or something. And then I went out another day and I walked, and this feather, a grouse feather showed up. And other feathers have been coming. On Mother's Day, I was told, go for a walk. I go outside. As soon as I walk and start my walk up the path, there in the middle of the grass where I couldn't miss it was a hawk feather. And they said, Happy Mother's Day. Basically, this is your gift for being attentive and watching out and, you know, paying attention. And so that was such an awesome gift. So then when I went for a walk with Aisa, and I said to her, we got to a crossroads, and I said, well, you know, Mother's not asked her. I said, what direction shall we go in, Aisa? And she stood there for a minute and thought about it, and she felt into it, and she said, let's go this way. And I was like, good. We go up the road, and what did we find? Feathers. But the
exact same feathers
that I was gifted, she was gifted. Because this is my little protege here, who is such a spiritual being in her own right. But they were gifted to her on this walk. And, you know, in part of our stories that we'll share on honoring our sacred waters and the Patuxent River Keeper site, you know, we have the turtle story. This is Ice Turtle Girl. She's turtle, dolphin
turtle
energy.
Everywhere. But this one time we were walking down the road, and we were walking, and we had walked a long time, then we were walking back to come back to the river house. And when we were walking on the road, what was in the middle of the road but a turtle? Because the whole time we'd been at the Patuxent River, I was like, well, where are the turtles? Why are there no turtles in the river? Where are you, turtles? I want to see you. Why aren't you here? And then we were walking, and what was in the middle of the road but a turtle? Because I had asked for the turtle energy to come, and there it was.
So she picked it up. She took a couple of pictures with it and got her, hey, look at everybody, I got my turtle. Yay! And then she, you know, carefully picked it up, and it had sealed itself inside its shell. And so she picked it up, blessed it, and took it and put it on the side of the road. We haven't seen another turtle since.
No.
This was weeks ago. And we still haven't seen another turtle. But it was something that she wanted so badly, and she was connecting with that energy. And so Mother put that turtle right there in the middle on the lines, in the smack dab in the middle of the road where you really could not miss it.
Nope.
And so she was so excited when she saw it, and she picked it up. She's like, thank you, you know. But that's how things manifest too. That's how healing manifests. That's how your abundance manifests. That's how your good health and well-being. This is how this change in this world is manifesting. People ask for this. People are crying out for this change, and now their energy has come together and coalesced into such a powerful force that Black Lives Matter, and people are standing for Black lives in this country and all over the world, that Black people and indigenous people, because this is not to lose sight of that, this too is an indigenous country, and they are being slaughtered from the time the folks landed till now, that they are being trafficked and missing and murdered and killed. But the solidarity of Native people, Black people, people of Asian descent, people of I never know for sure what to call it, you know, Latinx, or with all these different things that we label people, but you know, people are being the Hawaiian people, all these people that have suffered wrongs and things for all this time, people are finally getting it, that we are one spirit. And if you let one of us go down, which is the Black, Native, whatever race, if you find them dispensable, you're dispensable too. That whole gatekeeper story, that you held the gate while they ushered in one after the other, but then who was there when they ushered you in and said, close the gate behind you because you're we don't like you either. So yeah, so I think this whole energy and the fulfillment of the prophecies, it wasn't that the earth, that the Mayans never said that the earth was going to end at a certain time. What they did say, from my understanding, is that there would be a shift in the energetic and the creation of a new world on a different vibration. There are many vibrations and many different layers of existence that are all happening at the same time. We're one little planet in a whole solar system that is part of more whole solar systems that we're not even aware of. And we're not the only so-called intelligent beings in the universe. There are galaxies of other beings that are more intelligent, apparently, than we are. So we have this arrogance built into us that we are so special, and that, you know, and we need to get over that and realize we're one of the universal's teeny tiny sparks. That's all. And that we exist as the rest of the universe exists. And that it's our job to become the light force that we're supposed to be. Clean dust off that little spark that you have and let it shine bright like you do see in those stars. And become all that you're supposed to be. All that you know, can aspire to. Make that shift to a better world and a new world, which is a higher vibratory world where all of this stuff does not take place. And it's, I was explaining to someone earlier, and I said, you know, Gene Roddenberry he had to be an avatar, as were so many, Bob Marley, Bruce Lee, all, you know, endlessly can name. But the fact that his whole Star Trek thing was about multicultural crews and all these different beings that could, you know, exist from all these different planets and all these different societies, and in Generation 2 was my favorite, Captain Picard, you know, was one of them, and then Avery Brooks too, oh my gosh. But anyway, so, yeah, but there was one episode where they went into this whole wormhole thing, and when they came out, all of these enterprises started pop, 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 coming out, and as they're watching, the ones from Earth are watching all of these come, and they had Worf and, you know, everybody on there. They're like, some were at a war and were being attacked, and they're calling out for help, and they're watching this one, and it was just like a myriad of different situations that these different enterprises were experiencing, and they were all looking at each other and seeing each other, looking at each other's faces from all these different dimensional fields, and the possibilities of what is happening all at once. And that's another story for another day in terms of all of that. But just know that we have endless possibilities to create a new future and a new present as well. And so with that as a lesson and a springboard for us, from what one of the Mayan priests that I know, when I talked to him about this, and he said, no, that's not what the Mayan prophecies say. But we need to go into a higher vibration of the fifth world. And those that don't want to seek that, they can stay in this dense one here and undergo whatever is happening here. And Nana Vilma Cholak Chacol, who I just love, my sister, who is a Mayan priest in Guatemala. And years ago, she said, if you want to know what's happening to the earth and how the earth is, what's going on with her, look at the women. Because the women are in sync and mirror what is happening on the earth. There was so much destruction of mountains, and she said, and do you see how breast cancer is escalated and women's breasts are being taken? Do you see all this mining that's going on and digging up the earth and its minerals, and women were having more uterine cancer and having their wombs stolen and taken? All of these things that happen on the earth are being played out in women's bodies. So there is this resonance that takes place. And so women need to reclaim themselves. And that's part of also our lessons, that we have to reclaim our own sovereignty. We have to come back to, we are divine spiritual creatures, and we cannot be treated anyway. Our wombs cannot be destroyed. We cannot be diminished and trafficked and all of these things that are going on with women, and expect that the earth and that there would be any good outcome for mankind over this. And so we need to go back to, who are we? Women, daughters of the mother. We need to come back and reclaim ourselves and re-script and rethink, who are we as divine beings? Because we are such powerful forces and such powerful beings. We need to go back to who we are if we want this thing to balance out. If we want to bring up that energy and rebalance. And yes, men have divine feminine energy as well. And they need to work on that. However, right now that energy is so strong in the male-dominated energetic on this planet that women have been diminished to such a degree that the focus needs to be on women reclaiming themselves, and it starts with the womb, our most sacred place. I give thanks. I love you all. I just think, that this is such an exciting time and endless possibilities, and the chance to make new and right the wrongs that have happened. But we can't put the ball down now. We support all of those in the streets. We support and we honor and we give thanks and uplift all those that are being murdered and abused, that those whose names we know and those whose names we don't know. We bless you and thank you for your sacrifice and the willingness that you have to sacrifice yourself so that we can see and grow and understand. And we won't let you down. We won't let this thing rest here. That this will keep going for the rest of our lives until the change and the balance occurs. And that every country that is oppressing and oppressed people of color and indigenous peoples of those countries, and that are making these things right, and those people are lifted up and given their rightful place, and atonement is made for all of their ancestors and people, then we got a lot of work to do, and we're going to keep doing it. That's and right. We bless you as you go on your journey. I thank you for watching. So, as they say, what do they say? Subscribe, like, comment, share, comment. Share your thoughts, share your questions, share your energy. You can book readings, coaching, whatever. And just know that, I've seen some of the psychics that have said things and people have pounced on them. You can pounce all you want to, but they're taking their time and their energy and they're trying to uplift people. And they are trying to help people not be in despair and raise the vibration. So if you don't have anything good to say, I'm sure, well, maybe not your parents, but mine and my grandmothers and folks are like, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything. Right?
That's right.
Word to the wise.